Hi guys, in this video I'm going to illustrate and demonstrate how to sew a mesh fabric and or any other sheer fabric. So this is my center back pattern, which I've already cut with the pattern still attached to the fabric. So I've gone ahead to take out the pins, but before I took out the pins and after I have cut out the pattern on the fabric, I went ahead and created baste stitch like this. This is just to indicate where my dart position is. Also, before I cut, this fabric was folded in 4 places because it's a mesh fabric and a very soft tulle. I folded it in 4 places so that each side of the back is going to have 2 pieces. Next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and detach the pieces by cutting out this baste stitch. To do that, I'm just going to take the first 2 pieces, which indicates one side, and then cut out the baste stitch at the point where they meet. So I'm just going to count 1, 2, then in the middle here, I'm just going to go ahead and carefully and painstakingly take out the stitch gently. I'm not going to pull too hard, just gently, enough to leave parts of the thread attached to the fabric. This is just so I'll have the outline of the darts on the fabric when I have separated the fabrics completely. Now this is it. I have gone ahead and separated them, but as you can see, the lining of the darts is still on the fabric. So next thing I'm going to do is, as they are like this, because it has no front and it has no back, I'm just going to go ahead and stitch the neckline area using 1/4 inch on my sewing machine. Let's do that together. So now, as you can see, I have gone ahead and stitched the neck area using 1/4 inch. Now with my needle and thread again, I'm going to go in and create another baste stitch. Remember that each piece is made up of 2 pieces. So I'm just going to go ahead and baste stitch again. So now that I'm done with that, just like I did in the first time, I'm going to go in again with my scissors and carefully cut out the thread. Not necessarily cut it out, but separate the fabrics at the point wherein they met with the thread. Now everything is fully separated. I'm just going to pull it out like this. See? Turn it over. My dart indication is very clear now. Next thing I'm going to do is I'll go to the sewing machine to create fencing, thereby concealing the raw edge. This time around, I'll be sewing 1/8 of an inch. If you don't know what 1/8 of an inch is, go through this page. There's a video on how to read your measuring tape. It explains what 1/8 means. Next thing I'll do is to go ahead and stitch the darts. I'll match my pieces together at the hem and then make sure that the darts match. That's placing the fabric on top of each other and ensure that the dart matches like this. Then I'll go ahead, fold and stitch. Now Now at this point here, when you have stitched the dart in place, you don't reinforce around this area because the fabric is lightweight. It's a sheer fabric. So instead of reinforcing, what you're going to do is just cut out the rope and then you create a knot like this. This is because you don't want to have the appearance of bulk around that area. You want everything to lie flat and smooth. After creating the knots like this, you then go ahead and snip the excess thread. That area, this area here, is going to lie flat and smooth. Now you painstakingly sit and then you take out this base stitch thread gradually. And when you're done, you press. And that is how you work with a sheer fabric. So this is what the finished work looks like. I've taken out the thread carefully and I've stitched the darts. I've pressed it as well, and this is what the finished result looks like. Wrong side and right side. Now you might want to maybe cut out this darts and reduce it from the inside just so it doesn't reflect when it's turned inwards. I'm going to leave my own like this because this part of the dress is going to be hidden under a corset, so I'm not just going to bother to cut out the excess of this. But if you want, you can just go ahead and trim off the excess and then you iron the darts open. But for me, I'm going to leave it like this. And this is the neck area. This is what it looks like after stitching 1/8 of an inch. If you found this video helpful, share with your friends.